Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey Canning. I am the owner of a little marketing company called Inbound Web Development, and it has been a while since I posted any sort of YouTube videos, but definitely starting with this video, aiming to get back into the swing of things, hoping to publish a video every week going forward. And to kick things off, I'm going to be starting talking about the core foundations of marketing, and then kind of going forward in time talking about different digital marketing strategies and a ton of fun online marketing stuff. So if you're interested in this stuff, or if you own a business yourself, or even if you are a marketer within a company, I think you're going to find this very helpful. And today, the first thing I want to talk about is the first step that you need to take in order to crush it online. And that is going to be focusing on your website, building a beautiful marketing focused website that once you drive traffic to it with some marketing strategies, which we'll be getting into, it can actually be a marketing and sales tool for your company, allowing you to generate leads, grow your email subscriber list, and then ultimately generate revenue to the point where the amount of money you would have invested hiring a company like mine to build it will have far exceeded itself in terms of return on investment just a few months down the line. So the first step to crushing it online, to kind of paraphrase Gary Vee, is to talk about the importance of your website. And really this requires a mindset / philosophy shift. Really, any business owner today needs to understand that your website, your company's website, needs to be the central hub that all of your different digital marketing activities revolve around. And it really is the foundation of your entire online marketing strategy. So as you can expect, if you know anything about building homes, then you really do need a strong foundation to build upon. Because if you don't have that foundation in place, none of your other digital marketing strategies or tactics are going to work. You really need your website to be that central pillar. It can't just be something over here, like, hey, we have this company website, but we don't really use it that much. Check out our Instagram or something. Really, at the end of the day, all these marketing activities need to be working together to drive traffic back to your website. And then once you have people on your website, then you're going to be in the driver's seat in terms of trying to convert them into marketing qualified leads, and then ultimately moving them through your entire sales cycle to where you can actually start to generate some revenue from your website. All right, so when I talk about the website being the hub of all your digital marketing activities and strategies, that might sound good, but what exactly does that mean in practice? Well, it's pretty simple. If you're doing any sort of paid traffic campaign, so if you're running ads on Facebook or Google or even LinkedIn, essentially you need to be building landing pages, which is a website page that is not really linked on the main navigation of your website, but instead is kind of singly built for these paid traffic campaigns. You need to be driving the ads from Google or Facebook. You need to be driving those clicks back to your website. Once you get them on your website, then you're going to want to have some sort of call to action or a form so people can view the content. And then if they're interested in moving forward, depending if this is more of like a lead magnet conversion type campaign, then they're going to want to be able to convert right then and there. In terms of something, for example, email marketing, which I believe every company should be investing in now more than ever, and I'll certainly talk about it on this channel at length in the future. Any sort of content you produce, whether it be blogs, videos like this, podcasts like the one I have, anything you are producing online, one, you can't just, put it on the podcast feeds or upload a video to YouTube. I mean, that's great. It's better than doing nothing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to be getting that content on your website in the form of a blog post, even if it is just a video, even if it is just a podcast, not traditionally thought of as a blog post. But essentially, by having that on your website, you're going to be able to get found online through things like SEO and Google organic search, which is also a huge part of getting people to your website. By doing this, by having traffic coming towards your website, once you get them on your website, you're going to have your prospective clients and customers in a spot where you are the singular focus point. You're not going to be competing with other brands in the Facebook newsfeed, for example. And once you have people on your website, then you can do a whole lot more in terms of measuring data, in terms of collecting user information, in terms of trying to get people to visit certain sections of your website. We call this user flow, to where they're most interested. So people who are in research mode, kind of just getting started learning about the product or service you offer, you probably want to have content that is very educational and resource driven. However, people who are, kind of looking to set up appointments or meetings now, or looking to buy, then you need to have content that is much more focused on bottom of the funnel, getting people's contact information, getting them into your CRM or whatever sales tool you're using, and really converting those people into leads so that you can follow up with them once you have their contact information. All right, so hopefully this all makes sense to you. Hopefully it's not anything groundbreaking, and hopefully I haven't rambled too much. But last point on this, really, at the end of the day, your website needs to have the infrastructure to be able to support all of your marketing activities going forward, not just today, but potentially 5 years down the line. And what I mean by this is you really want to invest in a platform that can give you full control over your website, that can allow marketers to do what they need to do, can allow developers or designers to do what they need to do to build out new pages and continue to make optimizations to the site. And what I'm getting at this really is that you want to make sure your website, I mean, there's lots of different CMS platforms. There's a million different platforms you really could go with to build your website. But primarily for a lot of the clients I work with, I believe WordPress, and we can get into how you want to configure your WordPress website, and Webflow, which is a newcomer on the scene, however, offers a lot of super powerful stuff. You really want to make sure your website is on a platform on either one of those or something very similar. That is what is going to allow your company to leverage your website as a sales tool that is working essentially 24/7 to drive new business to your website. Whoever's going to be in charge of all this digital marketing, and whoever is going to be adding content and building out new landing pages on your website, you want to make sure that they are comfortable and they believe that the website infrastructure you have, whatever CMS you're using, is going to be able to support all of your marketing objectives for the long term. Because if it's not, because if you're on a website that is maybe custom coded with a bunch of random HTML, CSS files floating around, or something like Wix or Squarespace, where it's really not meant for the type of stuff we're talking about in this video, you want to focus on that first, because like I said earlier in the video, your website is the entire foundation. You need a strong foundation to build your entire digital marketing strategy on. And ultimately, it's just going to hinder your efforts the entire way. And then a year or two down the line, you might just decide to scrap it all and then rebuild the website. And then you kind of lost a lot of time. All right, so we've talked a lot about websites so far, and I hope you still find this interesting, but I want to hammer home this last point before we wrap up, and that is you really need to make the proper investment in your website before you can move forward with all of the marketing plans and strategies you've been dreaming of. So what I mean by this is, you can't really just put up a 5-page website, call it a day, and think that is going to serve your business in the best way possible for the long term. I mean, that is fine to launch. We don't want to spend 3-4 months designing a website, going through revision after revision. But long term, what you really need to be eyeing, and what I'm starting to eye with all my clients going forward, is that these websites, in order to really have effective paid traffic campaigns, in order to really be producing enough content to where you can actually rank for a lot of keywords, and then in order to actually get a lot of SEO value out of your website to where you don't have to pay for traffic or you're not relying on social media, long term, you need to be focused on building a website that's probably going to be over 100 pages. And I can say that quite confidently, regardless of the industry you're in or the types of clients you serve. Essentially, these websites, if you go look at any website that is ranking for every single keyword that you can imagine related to its service, we all know the stories where you Google stuff and there's always this one website popping up on the front page. That's because if you were to take a look in the back end of their website, they almost certainly have hundreds of pages, at least 100, and they are probably optimizing. They're building out landing page after every keyword they want to target. So that's what really needs to be done these days. And there are ways to kind of create an effective workflow to where it doesn't take you years to build this. Instead, maybe it takes you a quarter to build out like 20 pages. This is all stuff I'm working on with my clients right now at Inbound Web Development. But it really does require this mindset shift that needs to be taken. That means upfront, when it comes to these website projects, if you're interested in creating a new or redesigned website for your business, there really needs to be a proper research/discovery phase where whether you hire a freelancer, whether you hire an agency, whether you hire a small company, they need to be able to take the time to properly research your industry, research your competitors, get to know your business more, build out a proper SEO sitemap like we've been talking about. And ultimately, if the website is built on a poor foundation, the whole thing is going to collapse in on itself. Ultimately, long term, you need to make and understand the investment that a website does play in your entire digital marketing strategy. And in turn, you need to properly take the time and hire the right team who is going to do the job the best for you. Because, if you get this wrong, everything else going forward that you want to do is going to be wrong also. So it's really important. That's the whole point of this video, is that the first step to crushing online is to focus on your website. Build the best website you possibly can in a reasonable time. Building these websites, you're probably gonna have to invest several $1,000s, but you're gonna want that because essentially the higher amount of money you are putting into this investment is insurance that it's actually going to turn out right for your business at the end of the day. All right, so I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found it vaguely entertaining. If you do find this interesting, if you are interested in building a new or redesigned website for your business, definitely stick it to this channel because I'm going to be covering every single phase of the web design process from beginning. I'll even cover the pre-sales process, which I think will be interesting, kind of like inside baseball for anyone who is interested in that. That'll be next week's video. But then going forward, I'm going to create a video going through every single phase of a web design project or web development project. Essentially every phase it takes to build a really, really, really good website. And then after that, I'm going to also be talking upon the key marketing channels that you're going to want to use to drive traffic to your website. And over the next 20, 30, 40 videos, I'm going to essentially talk you through everything you need to know to where at the point where, even just after a few videos, you're going to have a really, really good understanding of all this stuff. And if you are interested in reshuffling your marketing strategy, or if you are interested in hiring a company to build a new or redesign website for your company, you are going to be so knowledgeable about everything that honestly, like, they're going to find you to be like a dream client because you're going to love how knowledgeable you are. So yeah, definitely keep it tuned to this channel. I'm trying to release a video every week. If this wasn't too boring, I imagine the production quality and my speaking ability will improve over time. These are going to be pretty casual, chill, talking head type videos. Yeah, if you did like it, leave a comment. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until later, talk to you soon. Bye.